Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Ms. Hogan, for your presentation. And I think while we understand that the focus of the audit at this point in time was very much on looking at the activities that were going on, and in fact, were they in accordance with the recommendations made in the 2013 audit. However, I think what most Canadians are interested in, and certainly what I'm interested in, is the issue of rail safety in Canada. In fact, is rail safety improving? And I believe in your report you did state that there has been, and this is a direct quote, some improvement in the rate of accidents relative to rail traffic volume. And also, we do know that in 2018, the Railway Safety Act review concluded that the safety of the rail system has improved in the last 5 to 10 years due to a sustained focus on inspections, compliance, and enforcement, as well as technological improvements and investments in rail infrastructure. Main track derailments have been on the decrease. It also noted that over the last 5 years, the number of fatalities resulting from railway operations decreased by 27%, and the number of accidents, though I'm not quite sure what the definition of accident is, decreased by 12%. So can you comment on, you've made a statement to Ms. Kuzi in terms of your impression of safety, but surely some of these statistics are valid and seem to show a decrease in fatalities and accidents.
Hogan?
I do believe that looking at the statistics is just one part of assessing safety of railways. So you do have to consider, as you mentioned, the number of accidents, the types of accidents, and how they relate to rail traffic. So that's one indicator. But then you also have to look at other measures that contribute to rail safety. And part of that is the safety management systems that are inherent within a railway company. Those safety management systems are supposed to sort of mainstream and make security a day-to-day thing, sort of an enhanced culture of security. You could say within a railway company. All of that will contribute to improving the safety of railways. I don't think we'll ever be in a place where we'll say that it will guarantee that there will never be accidents, but you trust that the government is doing all that it can in order to put the appropriate measures in place and to improve safety. I would argue that you never want an accident where there is a loss of life. And that should be the ultimate goal. But it isn't just about looking at traffic and statistics, but about ensuring there's this whole sense of culture and attitude towards safety in general around railways.
Jessica?
I appreciate that, Ms. Hogan. However, there are some fundamental measures of safety that surely can be agreed upon by all. In other words, I come from a health background. For instance, if you look at medication errors, some are inconsequential, some could result in a critical incident. And so I'm more used to an analysis of safety based on risk and what the finding might have been through an inspection or a retrospective review that could lead to serious damage. So could you sort of tell us what exactly are the data? What are those indicators of safety that you think should be looked at thoroughly by Transport Canada, and therefore by the railways themselves? Could you just elaborate a bit?
Absolutely. I'll start that off, and maybe I'll ask Ms. Campbell if she would like to join in, as she did some consultations, I think, throughout our audit with other countries. As I mentioned in my opening statement, it is a trend of the industry to start measuring effectiveness and not just to measure actions and make sure that there's corrective behaviors. And that whole trend about making sure that you're doing the right things at the right time, whether you're enforcing the right compliance measures and measuring the right compliance measures. I think it's exactly to your point. You have to identify which are the key safety measures that should be looked at, and then look at those. Right now, Transport Canada isn't measuring that effectiveness and hasn't identified what those might be. So I think I'll turn to Ms. Campbell to see if she would like to add to this in a more concrete way for you.
Ms. Campbell?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, as the Auditor General has indicated, assessing the effectiveness of safety management systems is an important measure. In addition, I would like to refer to paragraph 5.37 of our report, where we recommended that Transport Canada should determine the extent to which its inspections and audits have improved the railway company's compliance with regulations that mitigate key safety risks. And taken together, those two measures and comparing how they correlate against accident rates, fatality rates, and seeing if there is a good correlation would be important. And those would be key measures. For example, if the compliance rates are improving, but the accident rates are not, then that would be an indicator that the department needs to go back and take a look at, is it focusing on the right areas, or what exactly is the nature of the concern there. In respect to other jurisdictions, there are certainly examples of good practices both within Canada and internationally. For example, the Canada Energy Regulator, which we included in our Transport of Dangerous Goods report last fall, have established indicators that measure components of effectiveness. And the Canada Energy Regulator has 60 indicators with specific targets, some of which are being used as performance measures for safety and environment oversight.
Thank you, Ms. Campbell. Thank you, Ms. Hogan, and thank
Thank
you,
you.
Ms. Jessic.